Well, that was definitely the most water we've got in the shortest amount of time here, at least in, recent years, at least in 10 years. So the water is actually going over primary and secondary spillways. This is one. Never seen the water come over here. And it's interesting on these smaller systems. This isn't one of our bigger ponds. The bigger ponds can absorb that. That was 3/4 of an inch in like 15 minutes. But the smaller systems don't have that storage capacity unless we drop them down ahead of time. We didn't need to, but they can deal with it with enough spillways and big enough spillway structures. So this is normally like 4 inches down, and it's just completely overflowing, in primary, secondary, and even in some spots, tertiary roots. So here's a typical overflow that's taking, plenty of storm water, but there's actually a whole nother one activated up here. I was just scything through here this time of year to rescue little berries and little plantings from the jungle. So this is our normal overflow standpipe. It's a 1700s, 1800s pump log. And this spillway is activated, and so is an emergency spillway over there. It's okay because it's armored on the drop and it's vegetated heavily. One of the interesting lessons from these big pulses is just how brief they are. If we had to deal with water overflows like this for hours or days, that would be really difficult. But we don't. They just come up. The crests are very brief. You look at the curves from the stormwater in rivers, for instance, and it's hours or less, even for major flood events. The flood of 1927, the Great Flood, Irene, this last week and a half, 2 weeks ago, in Montpelier and other places. These flood events, they just last hours where the river is cresting. Down in the big bottom of the valleys, the floodplains, don't mess with those places. We shouldn't be there doing stuff like we are. But in the hills where we can deal with a lot, they are just hours or minutes where these come up. And vegetation and armoring deals with that very, very well, as we can see.
Stella, no!